Hello, welcome to the Groomsman. I'm Fayiz. I'll be doing a head shave today, and I've got lathered up here with the Phantom Airlight by PAA, Beach or The Beach by PAA as well. And I am using this because I went to the lake today with the dogs, and it's hot as hell out here today in Georgia. Did some yard work when we came back from the lake. Took a shower. And, this is a nice refreshing scent. It smells like you're going to the beach. It smells like sunscreen, saltiness, fresh air, all that good stuff. And yeah. I applied off camera the Vanillé pre-shave oil, which is my go-to before every single shave, pretty much. Unless I'm traveling, or maybe if I'm testing out a new base. Nice lather here. I lathered it in the Yates 3D bowl. Lathers really well. I like this bowl a lot. And the razor is a Yates 921 EH titanium with a second use Gillette Platinum. Very smooth and very efficient. I'm going to use this shave. I've used this razor on my head a few times already. This shave will determine if it becomes the king razor for my head shaves. I've already given it the prestige of top 5 face shavers for me, along with the Ambassador, Console, Dart, excuse me, and Carbon Original Plate. This is in the top 5 with those razors. This is a super smooth shaver and super efficient. It has the 3.25 inch titanium handle, which is nice. It came machined finish, but I polished it to a mirror polish. Just because I like polished stuff and I don't have to pay for polishing because I polish stuff myself. And I offer it as a service too for people who want their razors polished or other metals. Doesn't have to be a razor. After polishing this handle, Jonathan was wondering if it's going to be too slippery with soapy and wet fingers, and the answer is no. It is slightly more slippery, but it's not too slippery, for me at least. If it were going to be too slippery, this head shaving will present that to me, meaning I get my fingers really soapy and really wet, more so in head shaving than face shaving, and I have not had an issue with grip. Now that being said, some people do have issue with grip for various reasons. This might be too slippery for them. Yeah, this is a great head shaver. It's only one pass so far on this specific shave, but having used it a few times already, I can tell this is gonna be my favorite head shaver. Beating out the Mars, the Rockwell, the Carbon, and the Ambassador, which are all at one point favorite head shavers. And are still great head shavers, don't get me wrong. Alright, put a little bit more water in the soap and the lather. This brush is so big. It's a 26mm knot, but it's huge. Which, as you all know, I like my synthetics and I like my big knots for my head shaves. This smells so good too. A bit of extra lather. You know what would go well with this soap scent is probably a little bit of lavender with the beachy scent. Put a little bit of lavender in there. I think that would be spot on. And a little bit of menthol. I've done the menthol additions before into this soap and it's perfection. I didn't do it today, which I didn't have a reason to not do it, but I just didn't feel like it. Alright. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this bowl. I mean, this is the large, and you can see it works well for big knots and big brushes. If it were any smaller, I would not enjoy it as much. But it's perfect right now for me and how I bowl lather. That size is perfect. Smooth against the grain. It's the ultimate autopilot razor. And I'm not an autopilot razor kind of guy usually. But the reason I say it's the ultimate autopilot razor is because it still has efficiency. Most autopilot razors, like the Henson and milder razors like the NO75 by Haircut and Shave and those kind of zero exposure razors, even the lower plates on the Rockwell, those are all considered autopilot, but the efficiency lacks, at least for me. Which is where this razor shines, because it still has that smoothness that the other razors have, but it destroys it in terms of efficiency. It's so good for efficiency. And you guys know I like high efficiency razors like the Ambassador on setting 6 and those kind of shavers. And no, this isn't as efficient as the Ambassador on a high setting. Maybe like setting 4. 5 maybe, at most. But it's still highly efficient. And even though it's an autopilot shaver, the efficiency, it's positive blade exposure and it's a pretty big gap, you can still nick yourself. That being said, I think with the titanium being so lightweight, it makes it more difficult to do so. I can't, even over bumps, like it's hard for me to like nick myself. I have to kind of make myself do it. Part of that is the head geometry. And then just the light weight of the razor. The only downside that I personally have with titanium razors is they're typically more expensive. And I do normally prefer heavier razors. I think this weighs in the 40 to 46 grams range, where I prefer 85 to 100 plus grams. But I do love this razor. Each time I reapply this lather, it just gives me a big like burst of the scent, and I love it. It's not one that you see on a lot of Shave of the Days, but if you've tried it, let me know, because I'm curious. Let me know what you think of it. Alright. Against the grain and some pickups. Buffing passes. You still need to use a light touch, like you normally would. But if you add that light touch with how light this razor is, it's awesomeness. Just for real, it's so good. If you've got the budget and you're looking for a nice titanium razor, highly recommend this. Plus, with Yates, their titanium razors, like this one as machined, is about $230 for this configuration. On the build your own razor. And $230 is cheaper than a lot, if not most, stainless steel razors that you can get now. And the quality isn't any better. They're all good quality razors in my opinion. And for a titanium razor to cost as much as or less than many stainless steel offerings, that's pretty impressive. Let alone the titanium offerings, because those are in the 300 plus range for most of them. I know Timeless is a little bit cheaper than like Carbon is pretty pricey for their titanium. But I think Henson is the closest to the Yates in terms of price for titanium. Theirs is about $250 last time I checked. But I prefer this over the Henson titanium that I had and I sold. You hear my dogs barking because I think the mailman um, or Amazon is delivering something. Had a bump here that I lopped off, so see, you can still get bumps and stuff. I'm not saying you can't. Just way more difficult, in my opinion. The other downside with a light razor like this is you can, and auto pilot razors, is like I said earlier, you can kind of not focus and put a little bit too much pressure and get yourself. So, but that's alright. Bumps aren't meant to be on my skin anyway. Let's just take care of those during the shave. My head hair is a little bit more coarse than my face hair, but this takes care of it, no problem. A little bit right there. Alright, one more spot. Okay. Cold water rinse. See how my skin does after that. And I'm gonna put some witch hazel, unscented. Alright. And as that dries, I'm going to do a review of what I used. The Beach by PAA, lathered with the Phantom Aerolite, very nice brush. And I lathered it in my Yates 3D printed bowl. And the razor was the Yates 921 with a second use Gillette Platinum. This is the titanium version of the very nice razor. And I'm going to use a splash. There we go. Very nice scent. This makes me want to go to the beach. Very minimal zinging right here with the alcohol, but other than that, not bad at all, which is pretty impressive. Because PAA's alcohol splashes, if they're gonna burn you, they burn a lot. They're very strong splashes. So, very nice shave today. I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.